Good evening, Mr Alain Lamassoure, Minister. You have been Minister for Europe. You have been responsible of various commissions in the European Parliament. You have been elected in the European Parliament. You have been spokesman for the party of the President of the Republic for European affairs. And you have been member of a convention, and you have taken part in this exercise of writing the European Constitution, which has given birth now to its avatar, the Lisbon Treaty. So you are one of the most prominent figures of the European part of France, so you are the most qualified to intervene now.
In his speech, Europe, Who is in Charge?, Lamassoure focused on the advances in EU policy that have been made under the current French presidency.
And the second good news is that Europe is changing, and at last Europe deserves its name, politically speaking.
Because of this leadership, progress has been made concerning 3 significant crises facing the EU, the first being institutional. Lamassoure refers to Ireland's decision to reject the provisions to the EU constitution. He further commented on this crisis.
We need unanimity for a next step forward. So either the 27 member states ratify and everybody goes forward, or only one country objects and everybody stands still. Of course, it will be the last treaty dealt with by such method, clearly. With 27 members, we cannot act according to those rules any longer. I am very optimistic on our capacity of convincing, meeting the Irish concerns and then convincing them to complete the ratification process, even them, by next June.
The second crisis is diplomatic regarding the conflict in Georgia. Lamassoure emphasizes that the EU member states were able to effectively stop Russian soldiers and prevent them from invading Georgia's capital because they were unified. He expands on this by saying that Europe should be unified in its decision to use any type of military power, but explicitly a balance of hard and soft power.
I leave it to Robert Kagan to know whether it's victory of soft power or of hard power, but it is victory for freedom and for our common values.
Lamassoure then opened the discussion up to the audience.
So as an outsider, I ask a question just to ask that if the membership process concludes without the admission of all the states who currently are on the accession list, including Turkey, do you see that there may be steps that the Western community as a large takes for engagement with this NATO ally in the future after such a decision? How might we think about that scenario in the future?
The audience consisted of members of Congress, the press, and prominent individuals from the private sector, all of whom came to see Lamassoure give the 4th speech in the French Embassy series entitled Lectures on Europe.